GenC podcast.
Welcome to the GenC podcast. We are your hosts. On the wrong side of the table today, we have JP Jackson,
Hello, everyone.
myself, Rizan Rose, and two wonderful guests. For the first time, we have Justine and Karly, and they are two film producers.
She's the film producer.
There we go. And you are the
Editor, director, but we both worked as directors on this project.
Nice.
okay.
And I produced it and Justine edited the project.
Okay, so they're gonna tell us all about
the
all
project.
of this. But the first question we always ask, and this is gonna be tough because it's two of them. JP asked the question. Good luck.
Would you mind giving an introduction as to who you are
Here we go.
for our audience?
There we go.
Starting with
Who I am.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How personal do we need to
as
be?
far as you want to go.
Oh yeah, there's no.
Okay, so my name's Karly.
Perfect.
I am a film producer. I work with Justine, her, and I work for the same production company. I'm currently the head of production at the company, and I produce commercials, documentaries, short films, and Justine and I are currently collaborating on this project where her and I are both the directors. I'm producing and she's editing. So that's who I am.
Nice. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Straight into the point.
Okay, cool. So I'm Justine. Karly did all the introduction. We both work at the same production company. I mainly work there as an editor, and I've just bridged the gap from editing into directing. And yeah, more about me. Since as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. So I'm just living my best life. Yeah.
And Justine and I are also best friends.
Yes.
FYI.
Important FYI. Karly was just like, in case any of
Yes.
you.
Myself and JP just know each other from.
Yeah. The other side of the bridge. And
Oh, and Rizwan and I went to high school together, of course. We
Yes.
matriculated together.
Oh.
So we have a good
So you're also
record.
from
Yes,
the settlers.
yes. I'm not sure what that means, but yes.
I was just about to explain that, like, we had a good run of not having settlers guests on here because JP was something he's not just inviting the yellow
Bring them up.
settlerians. I'm like, yo, fix up your. Like,
So you invited one.
I did,
Yes.
but I was
And he
very.
never left.
That is two different things, Uncle. That was two different things. Okay, so the question. Let's get back to the who you are. So tell us about. Because I know you went to school, but just tell us about that sort of experience growing up, your schooling career, and how you got to this point to make these choices that you made. Obviously, you said you've always wanted to be in film, but tell us more about that.
Okay, cool. So I grew up in Johannesburg, around the Fourways area. My family, though, my mom and my dad are originally from Cape Town, and then once they got married, they moved there, and then I basically grew up there my whole life. In school, very busy with sports and drama and that type of thing. So I always loved an artistic expression. But as soon as you get to high school, there wasn't ever extra curriculum for film, right? Because in our government systems, that's art is not really, oh, sorry. Did I do that thing when I went too personal?
No.
Keep going.
Mine, so disclaimer, my face is loud.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
But
I
it's
love it.
but it's like it means you're saying something amazing. That's like if my
Okay.
face is acting. That's good. That's content.
cue. Yeah, so in our government system, there's not really a push towards like artistic extramurals in terms of besides just painting. There's no really push for developing someone's music skill, film skill, and that type of thing. So high school for me was like a waste of time because, like I said, distinctly I remember from the age of 13 watching Batman Begins. And, and after I watched that movie, I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Exactly.
Okay.
So when I went to high school, I was like, this is a waste of time because it's not what I want to do. But stuck it through. Then my dad was very much like, you have to get a degree. So I got a degree in filmmaking. And while I was busy studying, I interned part-time at Tinto Productions,
Okay.
where we work. And then once I graduated, they offered me like a full-time position, and that's how I'm at this current point. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So
I know Settlers as a very academic school. Or do you want to say something?
No.
Oh, so I know Settlers is a very academic school that promotes the arts.
yeah.
And you are someone that took it actually further than just that phase
I
of
did.
life.
I didn't.
Because a lot of people just leave it there.
Yeah, I didn't really practice art in that sense at high school, to be honest. I wasn't really interested in
Oh, so you were like the
drama
opposite.
or anything like that. No, not at all. I just wasn't interested in drama, sorry. I was in the choir though, because I love singing. But my journey at high school was also like, it wasn't the greatest, to be honest. I didn't enjoy high school at all. The only things that I did enjoy was going to choir and sports, because I was also very involved in sports. But then after high school, I really had a hard time deciding what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I felt like all the things that I wanted to do, like, I couldn't really, like, for example, I couldn't be a doctor or whatever because my physics marks, I didn't do physics. My maths marks were shit. So that wasn't going to get me anywhere. And my mom just said to me, take a gap year, figure out what you want to do. And so I did that. And at the end of my gap year, I felt like initially I wanted to do journalism because I always wanted to have a voice and also be a voice for others who didn't have a voice. And so I wanted to write stories. And so I applied for journalism, but I also applied to study film. And when I got accepted for both, I really rethink my first choice because I was like, I can also make films where I can tell stories.
Yeah.
And this
There we
way it's going to be
go.
more impactful because it can reach a bigger audience. So I studied film. Afterwards, I also did my internship at Tintoy. And because I excelled in what I did and I impressed my boss, he offered me also a permanent position where I started out as a production assistant. And now 6 years later, I'm the head of production and I'm running all of the production side of things and the producing aspect. So, and it wasn't easy, but you know what? I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
where you come from
Yeah.
or what you have or what you don't have. It doesn't matter if you know what you want to do or if you don't know what you want to do. If you are ambitious, you will get somewhere, wherever that may take you.
The reason why I reacted that way is because Settlers is a maths and science focused school.
Yeah.
Karly.
But the success of Settlers is in the arts.
Okay.
Our choir, our music, our like there's actually like a lot of recognizable people that dance in, like content creators that are dancers, content creators that are actors and actresses that are from Settlers.
That is true.
One of Koleka Putuma, the poet, her book is being translated into like the 7th language now. And like our I'm sure there's probably like scientists that are successful
You know
from
where I
Settlers.
also noticed this is on that series Blood and Water. I see so
Yes.
many past pupils from Settlers in their cast.
Yes.
And also a couple of others like Sek Ooster and stuff. Sometimes you
Yes.
spot some Settlers cast there
Yes.
also.
So it was maths and science focus. You tried, well done. You tried. But we sort of flourished more in the arts. I mean, look at me now.
I have mad respect for you, by the way.
Yeah.
Just because of that.
So like let's talk more about the film industry because we have no idea what is happening in the South African specifically. What is that like? So you said you shoot commercials and also some docuseries and movies and stuff like
Short
that.
films.
Short
Not
films.
feature films.
Okay, so
What's the difference? Sorry.
A feature film is a full-length film. A short film is like 20 to 30 minutes long.
and where does one like just like go long story? Tell us like where does one get short films? Who's the audience for that? Is that like
The audience is everyone.
Okay.
So my first big short film I did for this company was Good Morning. And that one, for example, is something that you'd send to film festivals to get recognized as an independent filmmaker.
Okay.
And you also get a lot of international recognition and accreditation.
Okay.
And that one won like the Sundance Festival in South Africa, which is a
Yes.
massive festival. So this is where you market short films, mainly film festivals. But also a couple of years later, I did another short film for the Silver Scarum Festival with CakeNet and CakeNet and
I'm seeing
I think
it now.
Mnet,
Silver Scarum. The
Silver
screen.
Scarum Film Festival. And so that one, they usually have a screening for it at the Bay Hotel in Cape Town every year. And that one, all of those short films are on CakeNet. And then,
Okay.
what's that other platform? Not Netflix, not Amazon. Showmax. All of the CakeNet short films are on Showmax and on the Silver Scarum on DSTV channel.
Okay.
CakeNet channel, yeah.
Yeah, but to add to Karly, like sometimes you would make a short film and you would send it to festivals and that type of thing. But other people would just create art for the means of creating art and wanting to put their content out there. So some people just release stuff on YouTube and those films are actually really, really good and they get like recognized by people. And then from there, they actually would be like, okay, cool, let's send it to a festival. So there's various ways that you can promote your work.
I saw Tangent. I saw there was like this fan-made Bridgeton series, like on YouTube or something, like the Bridgeton thing from Netflix, and it won an Emmy or something, or
The
Tony.
fan-made
The
thing.
fan-made thing
Yeah.
won an award. Like it was that successful, and then the juicy thing that they because it's fan-made, they're not allowed to like claim credit and make money off it.
Yes.
So they thought it's successful. Let's go make money. But then they didn't ask Netflix or Bridgeton or
Yes.
Shonda Rhimes permission. And so now they're getting sued.
Yeah.
So what did they try and do to make money? They try and like release it as its own
they try
thing.
they try to make
Yeah.
like a theater production on it, like they like a fan made bridge.
film it.
Yeah, they try to they try to bring it to like a
To
theater
life.
house so that it's like they can make money. They literally just wanted to start making money off
They
it.
brought it to a theater house to do a play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like
Without consulting the people that are.
and
That
like
is
and Netflix
insane.
apparently Netflix even like asked them, listen, you can get the licensing if you want to do this, and they were like, great, blue tick.
Yo, next level.
And now they're getting sued.
That's
But-
mad.
But they're probably also, even though their film was successful, they were very inexperienced to not
Yeah.
think.
I
that
was also
they-
thinking, how do you win an Emmy or a Tony and you like that amateur that you wouldn't even get permissions or
Yeah.
rights to use the stuff?
That's
like-
like the story's so wild that I thought maybe you guys heard
Yeah.
about it or
No.
whatever the case may be.
Not at all.
But that brings me to like another IP being so important within your industry.
Intellectual
Like,
property.
intellectual property. Who comes up with the original idea? And how is that actually like tracked? Because there's obviously variations of things
Yes.
being done. I mean, a podcast is a podcast and in another podcast. But what makes it unique or each one unique is the people that are doing it. Especially in film, if you create the original idea, how is that protected?
You can answer the creative part. I'll answer the
You do the
logistical.
you do the logistical part. She's the best producer. With any question, I'm like, just ask Karly. She knows.
Okay, so in terms of the logistics, I would handle the where do you get the permission from part. And so, like, say for example, last year I did a very big Specsavers ad. We do all of the Specsavers stuff. We did a big ad for them, and they wanted a very specific song that was owned by a music license. And as a producer, you kind of have to do a lot of research to get information, to find people. And so I kind of knew someone who belonged to the band, who put me in direct contact with a producer at the music label. From there, I would then have to contact them as a producer, send them an email, tell them what we want. We want this song. This is what we're using it for. This is for how long. That person then draws up a contract in which we agree to a certain amount of money or a figure that we offer them in return for getting the permissions to use the song for the commercial for 1 year in South Africa only. And if it's longer, then they need to choose to renew that contract.
Yeah.
So that's essentially how it works in terms of getting rights. You have to contact the owner or the publisher or the library, say what you need it for, and you guys negotiate a figure or a settlement amount. You sign a contract, you pay it, and there you go.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of now from a creative point,
He asks
it's just
who creates the stuff,
yeah.
or who gets the permission. So
yeah.
no name going on something.
I don't know. Wouldn't really, because for
So
us,
say for example, our docu-series,
Yeah,
I'm not
okay.
an object. Justine and I are the creators, the directors, so therefore we own rights to that. But also, because initially we applied for funding to fund these 3 episodes, in which case we didn't get funding, another flaw in the system. Then our company, who very much believe in us and our potential, offered to foot the hard costs of the filming of the 3 episodes. So they would then in turn also be who would also partially have ownership of
okay.
all this
Yes.
thing because they came on
Correct.
board as an investor.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we treat it in the professional world.
So what we did then is
I
like
felt
when
it.
you make
That's
when you
how we
make
do it.
the poster or you have the end credits and that type of thing, then you would say like in association with.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to take on necessarily the name of like we produced this whole
Okay.
thing because
Yeah.
they didn't. Like Karly produced it and basically did all the logistics. They just gave us the money.
Yeah.
So in that regard, they were like, cool, just say in association with, and they were fine just having that.
And that's also something that we have to agree on in that initial phase when they
Yes.
offer us, because it is at the end of the day a business agreement.
Okay. So
No, can I just go now before you go on your tangent?
I have tangent. Do you know me? You know me well.
Yeah. Just want to rope you in there a little.
Mm-hmm.
That whole discussion is business-like. I mean, I studied accounting, and what you're talking about is a business transaction. Someone who is a creative necessarily won't come in with the mind that this is a business transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is where the line is kind of being drawn, because you have to speak like a lawyer. This is
Yes.
the IP, this is the contract, this is what I need. But you are actually a creative and just want to bring this idea to life.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is a barrier in itself. How are we able to
It's not easy. Like in order to you have to have a business mindset to get through it or to get where you need to be as a creative, because it's not easy as a creative. You're not always going to get your chances. We who are very successful filmmakers got denied funding from a national funding system for something for that actually serves a good cause. It's for gender-based violence. How could you not give us funding? You know what I mean?
Correct.
So you have to be very business savvy if you want to get somewhere, and you have to be super determined, and you need to understand these things if you also don't want to get screwed over.
Yeah.
And as females, that can very easily happen in the system because we are the minority. Not to say that we are also colored females. So it makes it worse. Our industry is dominated by male white men. And it's not easy. We had to hustle extremely hard, and we had to work exceptionally hard, much harder than the rest, just to prove ourselves and to prove our worth.
I want to piggyback on that also. Damn it. But I do have to get this point across. So there's the way that you were sort of speaking about the rights and ownership and stuff like that you put together, is that in music there's a difference between song of the year and record of the year, because the person who writes the song is like credited a different way to the person that makes the song. And so those individuals like their ownership and payment is completely different.
Yeah.
Where to an extent where you can be nominated or you can qualify for a record, but you can't qualify for a song.
Yeah.
And that's something that I still need someone to just fully just
There's
give
a
me
lot
the
of
essay.
lines.
Yeah, like Ed Sheeran would write a lot of songs, like you know, "Love Yourself" for Justin Bieber, and
Yes,
he would
yeah.
be credited.
As
Yeah.
the songwriter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then bringing it to film.
It's just, like mine's like,
Oh, we are.
Yeah,
I have two
I'm
brain
moving-
cells that
I'm
when they
moving.
click together, it sparks an idea, and I have to, I have to just ask about that, talk about it. So the one thing that I do know in film is that difference between that whole best original screenplay and best adapted screenplay. So can you just like, do you know the difference? Can you just explain it to us?
Yeah.
Please, just like,
Cool. So original is like a completely new concept, as the word original entails. Adapted means it's coming from another source, like a book or a play even, or it could have been a super old film that they're now recreating. So adaptation basically means the IP has come from a different source. The story has been told in a different way and maybe even a different art medium, and you now have to adapt it to screenplay. Whereas original, it's never been done before. This is the
Yeah.
first time we're seeing a story like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so nice when you have people that can
oh,
explain.
wait.
You're getting all your phone back questions now.
Oh, wait. So then, just to transition then now, because you guys seem very clued up, you seem also equally passionate and stuff like that. So you are doing documentaries or docu-series. What is the...
So I Am Not an Object is a docu-series, but in our industry we do various things, as
Yes.
Karly said. Yeah.
And do you have any like dreams and goals to be like a feature film producer, feature film director? Is that like a dream for you, or do you feel like you know your niche and you want to stay there?
And I go,
She's like
Karly's
listening,
thinking.
and she's like,
I do. I think like my ambition or my dream is not necessarily to be a producer of a feature film.
Okay.
For me, that's not where my passion is. My passion would be if I could make content like I'm Not an Object full time every day. That would be my passion, producing that.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily want to produce feature films because it's very different to commercial world, which is what we do. It's just not for me, the lifestyle that it comes
Yeah.
with. It's a very different lifestyle. Like, I'm not sure, like, if you guys are interested in knowing what that lifestyle is like, but I'm just not...
It's very hectic, super long hours. You don't see your family for 5 months. You're just there with your crew.
Oh,
you
that's
work,
where
you work
you're
10,
going on site.
You work 10 to 12 hour days.
No, 12 to 15 hours.
Sorry, 12 to 15 on a feature, you see, exactly. And you do that back to back
without
for what?
overtime.
Right.
You do
get
get overtime and you do get paid generally quite well in the
Money isn't
industry, but it's
everything,
just...
JP.
It's a very high.
It's not worth it. And
Why you attacking?
it's just not worth working like that.
Yeah.
And we also like in the phase of our lives we were like, no, we don't need to work like slaves just because we're
Yes.
greedy for money. Like we're quite content with what we have and where we are. And we'll keep on being ambitious,
Yes,
but we don't
yeah.
need to make that big of a sacrifice just to make
Yes.
more money.
However, I would add, if we did a feature film that was like I Am Not an Object, for example, like a docu feature that was really about something super impactful or whatever, then I would do it. But I wouldn't just
So
jump at the first opportunity to edit any feature, because especially from an editing perspective, you're sitting with that also for like 6 months. Some editors sit to 8 months to a year on some feature films, just looking at the same content over and over again. So if you're not actually passionate about the story, you're gonna absolutely hate it. So like, to reiterate what Karly said, like we wouldn't sacrifice, I guess, doing what we do now just to say, oh, I did a feature, and then lose time with your friends and your family and that type of thing. Yeah.
So we've teased and played around with the feature.
Oh,
now.
wait.
I am an object.
I'm
and
not.
I'm not an object, and left some hints about the project. Do you mind explaining to the audience?
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
What's the project about?
What can they look for?
And what can they look forward to?
Here you go.
Okay.
What are you allowed to say?
Yeah.
I'm Not an Object so far is a 3-part docu-series. It started with a phone call one day when I phoned Justine, and we just came up with this concept, and we were just speaking about like the gender-based violence at that time, and I think that was in 2020 towards the latter of the year. There was quite a lot going on, a lot of young females that were getting raped and a lot of protests, and we also felt as filmmakers and artists that we wanted to say something and we wanted to do something. And we really wanted it to be different. We didn't want this boring talking head type of documentary. We wanted something artistic where you could really see our creative expression. So we thought about it and we planned for nearly a year before we had something solid. But we basically went out and we started our research process by chatting to women all over South Africa, women of different age groups that come from different diverse backgrounds in terms of race and culture. We heard their stories of the abuse that they endured, and we basically retelling their stories in each episode. Each episode is based on a real woman's story who comes from South Africa, who comes from abuse. And instead of filming people and having a cast, we wanted to further cement our theme or the name of the docuseries, which is I Am Not an Object, which plays on the fact that women are objectified in society. We then decided to film a mannequin to further play on the juxtaposition of not being a woman, not being an object. So the mannequin acts as a surrogate for the woman when we retell that story in that episode. So that's basically a very brief, or kind of try to make it brief synopsis.
We are with a long story. We are here.
That's the synopsis of where we're at. We do have 7 episodes or 7 stories that we've recorded and done research on, but so far we're just filming the first 3 episodes for now, and all 3 of those episodes will be released periodically during 16 days of activism that starts on the 25th of November this year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Go.
Let's go. That's amazing, because I feel like this episode is gonna most likely also
Be around that time,
so check it out, Kanala.
Please.
Oh, so what I want to do basically say is that when I think about these sort of short series about these very difficult conversations, I think about like I watched like the Chernobyl series,
Okay.
the retelling of those events, but they obviously made it very dramatic. And those boys, the Central Park 5. Oh my word, what's that called again? When they see us.
Okay, yes, I know about that, yeah.
And so, what is that? Is Ava DuVernay? Is that the director?
I'm not sure who directed it.
I'm not sure.
So she also directed a series called 13 in America. So it's about the 13th Amendment. So that's also like a series about how there's a link to the prison complex and slavery.
Yes.
So while they abolished slavery, they created the prison system to keep the same energy, if you will.
For sure, because especially in America, it's like something ridiculous.
High
like
incarceration
75%
rate of black people. So every system that follows the justice system, the police, the jury, the judges, the lawyers, everything is designed to almost like bring black people down. And so that created the advent of critical race theory and all that stuff, right? So in a similar vein, with gender-based violence, in our country especially, there's a big tree that contributes to this. There's a lot of hands in the pie for us to be the leading country or the most unsafe country for women.
Yeah.
So what we basically want to just talk about is those players and what we think their role is. Like, just so it's not like a smart conversation.
This is a very political conversation now.
So we can get into the point, but just like, what do you think their role could be? Like, how can maybe that aspect be better?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna sort of highlight some of the players.
Can I start?
So we actually have the list.
I've got a simple
We actually have a
answer to
list.
start with.
Do you want to tell? Say directly.
We actually have a list that we want to go through one for one, but you can kick us off.
I feel like based on just the stories that we've heard from these real women and the stories that we've recorded and listened to over and over, you can tell that the system is flawed. You can tell that the South Africa justice system is not doing enough. The stories that we heard are actually so appalling, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but when you watch it, you'll see for yourself how the police, how the medical system, how all of them have just failed our women.
I didn't even add the medical system. so I think the first and easy one is the police.
Yeah.
How have they failed, and can we think of just some suggestions on how they can be better?
I don't think it can be better unless the entire system makes a radical change.
Yeah.
Like it's all good and well. We can sit here and talk about suggestions, but like if we ask ourselves, do you realistically see this happening in the next 2 years?
Obviously
what's your
not.
answer? It's a hard no.
Obviously, because I know, for example, that the IPID, the independent police, whatever, that's supposed to be the check on the police system, I had to ask if that exists. I had to ask if there's a body that governs or checks up on the police. And the fact that I had to ask means that it's they're not doing anything of substance. Because there's too many policemen that are also perpetrators, that are also, so that's basically just because you see, you obviously haven't spoken to these women, know that it's a thing. There's too many people that deny this. And that's why even if it feels like you're saying something that people know, they don't. That's why I just wanted to actually get into how are the police failing us. That's what I'm just going through these different.
Well, I guess it's a very simple answer in the fact that if a woman actually goes to the police station to report a rape, it is one of the most longest procedures ever and forms you have to sign out. I mean, this woman just had the most traumatic experience and it's, sit down, do this. Or one person, not to give a spoiler for one of the episodes, but she said she went, she wasn't raped, but she was severely beaten by her husband and decided, I'm going to go to the police, enough is enough. And they said she was from an African background and they said, this is a civil matter. You need to take it and consult the elders to sort it out. And this is the advice
that she got from the police.
Yeah.
That's sorted out.
That's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So it's
what must she do with that?
The police, as a entity, doesn't take gender-based violence seriously, and that's why it's such a mission to fill out a form when you've been raped. It's such a mission to prove that you've been beaten, and then it's a whole long court case process now to get it. And yes, I understand from a legal perspective, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But when the facts are there in front of you and they still will give a rapist of a 3-year-old bail time, that is unacceptable. And then you see them on the street a year later as well. So the fact that it's not a punishment, it's okay, you did this crime, we'll lock you away till maybe people start posting about it on social media and it gets a bit quiet, then we'll let you out. It's unacceptable for any rapist to be out within 6 months. So once again, there's no weight on the subject. It is just something as a society we have accepted that this is fine, and now in our legislation we have accepted this is fine. So now nothing gets done. There's no weight, there's no consequence to your action. So one of the women actually that we interviewed said something quite profound, and she's like, yes, we have to consult our government and the police and etc. But until people start having tough conversations in their homes with their boys about entitlement, about the fact women aren't objects, about the fact this needs to stop, about the fact that locker room talk is unacceptable and not funny, until those conversations are had as a society, it will not change, because we also have to change it from home.
I was just going to say, before you said that, there's no point in the justice system not taking gender-based violence seriously, because if they're not taking it seriously, then the men in our society are not going to take it seriously, because there's no consequences, you know? And like, if the police system can start taking it seriously and actually start helping these women and doing something about it and putting people in prison that belong in prison, then men wouldn't be out thinking that it's okay. What's gonna happen to me? I can deny it.
No, I hear you. And I think it's that ripple effect of going to your elders, like they're saying, take it to your community, but then there is no real justice.
Yes.
Oh.
And then you talk about the cascade, the after effects, the ripple effects of the locker room talk. There's always this saying that bratty kids make bratty adults.
Yeah.
And when they get so comfortable with having that talk and thinking this is what I can do, then it becomes a discussion of, oh, now you're old enough to do this and you still think you can do that.
Yes.
And for me, it's so tricky. And I feel for me personally, and Izan, maybe you can comment, it's so tricky as a male who feels like consciously.
Say it with your chest, my brother.
You feel the pain that these women go through.
Yeah.
But you also the cause.
Yeah.
And like, that's why it's so tough to have this conversation, because even if the conversation starts from a good place, the fact that I am who I am is already invading the space.
Yeah.
And crossing that barrier to where we can create a connection.
Yeah, I'd just like to give another teaser to the
Teasing too much.
But basically, like, when we thought about the concept, it was very important to us that we didn't leave people with the feeling after they watch it like, okay, all men are trash. Like, that was a super conscious thing. We wanted men to watch this and be just like, I guess, thought-provoked about it and take what they saw home. We didn't want you to feel like you said, because of who I am, I can't have this conversation. So we wanted the documentary to end in a way that basically is more on an uplifting note than one that just ends with men are trash. Because it's important, like you said, maybe men don't want to have the conversation because they feel like girls aren't going to listen because what do I know? So through our docu, we made a platform where you can watch something and be interested, and you can learn about it and walk away not feeling, wow, we suck, but okay, maybe we can do something about it.
We wanted it to be informative and insightful instead of men are trash.
Yeah.
If anything, any shots fired are fired at the police.
Yeah.
So, okay. So much to say.
Are the two brain cells now meeting each other?
Yeah. No, so the first thing is that
Welcome, Rizan.
we marched, and we, like, especially after Uyi Nene was taken from us, we marched, and we had our blackouts, we had our this, and so the president had the audacity to speak to the country and suggest certain things. But in terms of legislation, because unfortunately, the police, in all their faults, they apply the law as they see fit. But if the law doesn't exist, so that's the next thing. How is the legislation failing us? What type of, like, for example, the bail concept, I feel like throw it away.
Yeah.
But it's tricky because it's like a whole thing about, like,
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But, and also, like, the whole thing about false accusations. But bruh, like, something needs to be done.
Yeah.
So is there, because there's enough smart people in our country.
Yes.
There's enough,
From settlers.
In the wrong
in the wrong places.
Settlers.
It's so jarring, man. Because when I think about it now, and I think about it honestly, a lot of the nonsense that is in the world is like a capitalistic intent.
Yes.
The fact that we are killing our planet, the fact that Eskom is doing the least, there's somebody's gaining capitalistically.
Yes.
But the abuse of women and children,
No one benefits.
there's no, like, it's weird, man. So then, I like, you know what I mean? So that's I'm thinking, okay, cool. In terms of a legislation, because no one's going to lose out financially. Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe the people that are like committing like hella heinous crimes are too rich. I must say this before. Why are you making that much money? Are you busy with like sex slaves or something like that? Like, what's going on? Like,
I don't think that's the case, because I feel like there are a lot of criminals that come from disadvantaged backgrounds.
Yes.
I think the problem is in the system, because the crimes aren't treated as seriously as it should.
okay.
And yeah, that's all for now.
I mean,
Head break.
it literally boils down to like every facet of society. We pay taxes. Our taxes are supposed to go to building better homes for people in underprivileged communities. They do not go there. So some young boy drops out of school because his mom is sick. So he decides to become a gang slanger to earn money for his family from that, because he's involved with this gang. He participates in a gang rape for initiation. So it literally boils down to every single thing, and it is a ripple effect on every facet of society.
So you see now, that's like for me, those sound like easy criminals. As in, like, you can set the rules for them because they are, by association, committing a crime, just being part of a gang. They're obviously committing other. It's those very difficult ones where it's like your boyfriend, your husband, your uncle, your father. Those ones is where the law is like, it becomes very difficult to apply the law. And I think because it's difficult to apply the law, they don't just set the law.
Yes.
So for those, so is it not the right thing to do? I'm dominating this conversation. I don't want to be. But is it not the right thing to then make it strict as a deterrent? Is it not the right thing to set the law as strict as possible as a deterrent? Like, you know, like in Islamic countries, which is also not like a good thing. They like, if you steal the chop of your hand vibes as a deterrent.
Yeah.
Is it not like, especially in our country, because our country is doing too much, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we should be chopping people's heads.
Oh, yes.
Do you know what? I feel like, Narizan, I feel like it starts at home. Like, we are now the younger generation.
Yes, please.
So we need to still have our offspring. Can we not teach our kids properly? Can we not discipline our kids? Can we not teach our kids to be kind, to be humane, to have compassion? I feel like those things start at home. I feel like there's, even if we do make stricter rules or tighten up the legislation, we need to ask ourselves, are people still going to get raped? The answer is yes. So can we not start as a younger generation to just teach our kids properly?
Yeah.
Talk to your brother if they are, having that type of conversations. Tell him, nah, bro, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That is where it starts. It starts with us. That, I feel, is going to change the world more than what the police can do for us. So basically what I've written down is police, legislation, community, education, family life, and then so all of those has a role to play. Because I appreciate what you said there, but you're giving us almost like too much credit. What do you mean?
Our ability to inform our kids of what is right and wrong.
So I was actually going to add to that, was it starts at home, right? But we can't be oblivious to the fact that there's sometimes no one at home.
Yeah.
Also true.
And within that is another fault in that kink.
Yes.
That it isn't being taught at home.
It's a chain.
There isn't someone, and where someone is setting the example, it is the incorrect example that they're following. So it's, like you said, it's too intertwined.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't focus on one aspect and think that's going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's not.
Because
It's
also
a-
at
it's
the
a-
same time, to that kid who doesn't have parents at home, where does he go? Because we don't have enough shelters or orphanages in South Africa that are funded by the government. And if you do want to go to a facility because you need a place to stay, you're going to have to pay. You need money for that.
And that's where I feel like it's, like you said, the biggest link that can have the greatest effect is the community.
Okay.
Because regardless of the actions of the police, regardless of the actions of the other people or the legislation, you kind of, when you live in a community of people, you are living amongst your own set of rules or your own set of norms. So it's almost as if that was done, you would deal with it within the community and treat it as harshly as it should be. And if you take it seriously, it would create a wider network effect that the next community will take it seriously. Then the greater area will take it seriously. The district will take it seriously. And with that, the other kinks start forming legislation. Community within that district treats it a bit harsher. But like we said, it's not one aspect, not just focusing on the police, but it's creating this network of how we want society to be. Because like you said, being the next generation of parents, of those that want to have kids, you're almost afraid.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
you're so scared that if I have a girl, what world am I bringing her into?
How do I protect her?
How do I protect this person who is now stealing your heart
Yeah.
in more ways than one?
Yeah.
And you have no control. And that's where that discussion comes in, where you think, or I assume or think that the person she might meet or the person she interacts with comes from a family that taught them something and not just locker room talk. Whereas we need to create the community aspect that this is what we accept, and it's in no way, shape or form ever accepted to raise your hand for a female.
Yeah.
It's just not. No matter how angry you are, no matter how things are turning, if we can turn that small aspect, it creates something greater. And I think it really starts with one.
Yeah. Again, there's too much to say. I think I'll say this. I'm not suggesting that I have a solution. But what I am saying is that I think as a country, because this is our thing, unfortunately, this is our thing. This is the thing that we do. Like there was this TikTok thing that this American person made fun of the fact that British people are putting beans on toast. It would be nice if beans on toast was something that we did that was bad. No, but I'm saying like imagine like imagine that would be nice if that's our flaw, man. That's our flaw as a country.
Okay,
you know?
But you can also give back the diamonds. Please proceed.
Give back the diamonds, man.
You must ask the queen for the diamonds.
The queen's not here,
The
fam.
queen took all the diamonds.
Forever. Shoot, that is very funny. Excellent, JP. So just for me, because we are failing legislatively in terms of the police, in terms of education, because like I don't remember learning this at school. I don't remember learning about like
Just awkward sex ed.
I didn't even get sex ed, my bro. I still remember asking my hello teacher, ma'am, when are we gonna learn about sex?
Oh, wow.
And she looked me dead in the face and said, we're not doing that.
What other teacher was that?
Huh?
What other teacher was
You're
that?
exposed.
Expose the files.
No, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Like, fix your house, Nicholas. And yeah, so education, because again, it's a thing, like, let's talk about it, you know? And then, like I said, the community, like, he agreed on that. And then our personal ideologues, like our personal ideologies, because what are we learning in church? What are we learning from film? What are we learning from the music that we listen to? That sort of influences how we sort of view people and stuff like that. And it's so frustrating that people don't understand why we are feminist, for example. They don't understand, like, almost like feminism is a bad thing. No, feminism is the only thing that, like, come on. Or they don't understand when we say the patriarchy must go. Yes, they don't understand. They just and that's what I mean. Like, there's all of these aspects, all of these parts of the chain need to, like, we need like a wide campaign that sort of then does work on all of those facets. So I do appreciate what you guys are doing.
We're trying.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so from there, someone in a different industry needs to then step up in that way.
Yes.
Someone in another industry needs to step up in that way. And that's how we move
To
this
bring it
forward.
back to music, it's like with a lot of the music today, it's still about like this booty, this chicky, what this, and that's locker room talk in music. So some 13-year-old boy listens to that, and that's how he thinks it's okay to talk about a woman's body. Yeah.
Oof, I have more to say on that as well. Because, for example, do you know that, like, the sexualization of women's bodies is not even our thing? Like, because you've seen some of those tribal images of our African women. No bra. Just vibes. No. Just vibes. And it's not sexual, man. It's just anatomy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't just like, watch this.
Watch it.
You know what I mean? They're not locking it back, CJ. But it's just bad. It's like they just people who have that anatomy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we have now sexualization of women, which is just, and it's just education that just needs to be re-educated. Just like that's what I'm. So all of those things that I'm talking about, man. So yeah.
I just love this. I love having a space to talk about this. And I think it's important that we create more of these discussions in other areas. And especially this is like kind of completely left to how we normally do the podcast. But it is the kind of conversation that we should be having.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely, even within the space where we usually have fun, these sort of discussions should also be on the table. It should also be brought to light that this is our reality.
Yeah.
It's not just all the good things that we show you. It's not just all the Gatsbys. This is people's real life.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if sometimes the problem is too far, so it's not my problem.
Yes.
Now we're making it your problem.
Yeah.
We're putting it in front of you and making you have that self-reflection to know that this is your struggle too.
Because there's a thing, there's a saying that goes that all women know a rape victim, but not all men know a rapist.
Sure.
So all of us know of a survivor of sexual assault or abuse,
Yeah.
but for some reason we don't know any abusers.
Sure.
They are there. Lurking.
Not even lucky, they like...
But I'm glad that we also had this discussion today. I feel like change always starts with having these types of controversial conversations, you know. It always needs to start somewhere, and I think hopefully with what the viewers are going to see, they can take something from this, and it can give them insight and also help them have tough conversations with the people in their circles.
Okay. So we like to sort of have a bit of fun,
Okay.
Yeah.
just to lighten things
Ready.
up.
Yes, please.
To give you guys a bit of a sweeter taste in your mouth, and for you guys. So today we are going to play one of our second games. So this is a variation on F, marry, kill, and it's called Hou Vas, my broer Las, and Naai, that's Klas.
Oh wow, that's a lot to take in.
So-
Hou Vas,
Las
Las,
and Klas.
You have
Hou
to
Vas,
repeat the full thing.
Okay.
Hou Vas, Las, and Klas.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't understand this game. What do we do?
Just take Karly. Just take Karly.
Okay.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is from this,
Yeah.
we're gonna get a category. We're going to mention 3 things
Okay.
in this category and rank them according to this is Klas, maybe Hou Vas, and this Las.
Okay.
Okay. Question.
Content.
Klas.
Class.
Klas.
Good.
Class.
Yeah.
Oh, class.
Like choir.
Oh, okay,
Choir.
okay. Choir. Got it.
So the first one,
I'm from
and this
Joburg.
is
That's why we explain
That's why,
things here.
yeah.
Okay,
I
class.
got you.
so this one is content creation, specifically content creation platforms.
Thank you. Yo, put the platforms.
Sorry, content creation platforms.
Okay.
So, in terms, there's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Okay.
So, of the platforms, which 3 do you think are the best? Because we
Think
first need to get in the
best for
For
me
what?
personally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, for you personally.
Yeah.
For this group, we'll decide which one will be the.
Wait, what are the options?
No, you.
You must decide of which.
You
What
can
are you
bring.
saying online
You-
Here we go.
platform?
Any that's for
So-
best for content creation. 3.
Wait, so best for content creation.
And then we're going to discuss why the one
Why.
is this class, why we're keeping
You
one, and why we just.
See, that's very difficult because various platforms you would create various different things on because there's
Exactly.
different target. So you
Okay.
can't necessarily have one.
But which one
answer.
would you want to use?
And
I
why?
like suck at social media.
Don't worry. Me
You're
too.
putting us on blast
Me
here with that
too.
one. That's a dangerous topic that we're going on.
I don't even
Are you
have
on Twitter?
We are on Twitter. For I'm not on Twitter. We have a Twitter page, but that's the only time I use the
Is this
Twitter.
stuff on
Yeah.
the Twitter page?
Oh, basically, it's like almost similar to our Insta.
Okay.
Just doing so having a personal conversation.
Okay, sorry. Now let's get back to the game.
No, that's
Yeah.
funny. So the two of
Yeah.
you just Insta with each other.
With each other.
She manages, but I manage the Insta page.
Instagram
I
page
just
and the
Twitter.
Facebook page.
Yes. Twitter
Okay.
because it's important. Like I share some of the gender-based violence stories and
Right.
that type of thing, so it doesn't
Right.
seem like we're just talking about ourselves.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
like engaged in the full conversation.
Rizan is literally the definition of TikTok at this stage.
Is
like
it?
he is thriving on that platform, and I feel like you need to you need to embody this content creation journey, Rizan, and for your fans out there that hold you so dear, you have to choose TikTok. Unfortunately,
Okay. Just so that we know, it's Lyle that is putting her face on TikTok. Okay. It's cool, TikTok. I would say YouTube.
okay.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
YouTube's reach as a content
Yes.
creation platform.
Let's share one with them that they're not familiar with.
Let's go.
Like Discord.
Ooh.
Discord.
No, that doesn't count.
Why not?
Wait, can a
Like
like a
streaming
chat.
chat service. Okay.
Yeah.
does that count?
Okay.
But that's not big. Really.
Is it not big
Okay,
for you?
fine,
Is it
it's
big
not
for
big.
others?
Oh.
No, it's
No,
not
it's
big,
big
enough.
It's not for content creation. It's,
It's
more
more
like
for-
a chat platform
Where you can share videos and music and chat to
and
everyone and have
stream on
personal
your games.
chats.
That
It
type of
sounds
thing.
like a content creation. space.
No, it's more
It's a
like
work
a
platform.
It's not just for
Oh.
work, but yes.
Well, we use it for
yeah.
So, okay, sorry.
Okay,
listen.
for content
we-
creation,
we can-
TikTok, Insta, YouTube.
Ooh, okay.
What do
Yes.
you say?
That's good.
You saying TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, YouTube.
That was,
So
I would
that
say
means
that's
you.
my
So that
top
means
three.
you leave Insta.
So,
So last Insta.
yeah, last Insta.
Wait, TikTok, YouTube,
and
and
Insta. Which one of those
IG.
would you keep?
And which is
Which
the
one
best, which
so
is
and
great.
which one is going?
Here we go.
I only use Instagram, so that's mine.
So that's you stay for that.
She wants class on Insta, and you just like Insta's gone.
No,
Insta's
okay.
gone.
No, okay, guys, let's not use Insta.
That's fine. That's fine.
No,
That's
you
fine.
like to have your preference.
We can keep Insta.
Is this also for your just your
Yeah,
personal?
what-
Yes.
Yeah, what?
It's
Okay.
not a,
Okay.
as a
what?
collective.
I
we'll
get
do
really-
that.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Last okay.
I'm sorry, Razan, we ruined the game.
Sorry, we'll be better this time.
This is the worst question.
This is target audience for baby. This is
What is it?
camera types.
Okay. So you red, Ari, and what we're gonna do for DSLR?
Yo, so you're gonna have to
No.
do me a
Yeah.
favor and just
Red.
explain what makes
I'm
these
trying
cameras
to
fun.
red.
And why would you? So someone who wants like wedding photography, which camera would they use?
No, we,
someone,
not-
who's,
we
those
wouldn't
two.
know what camera to use for that.
someone who's doing like commercial pictures or posters and stuff like that. What camera? Someone who's going into the wild for like those nature pics. What cameras would they?
Wild?
We don't shoot wild stuff.
Okay, cool.
But I would
Videography
say
cameras,
for
cool.
videography, like a Sony.
A DSLR.
Because Sony's natural color profile is much
Ooh.
better than Canon for video.
Ooh.
So my
The
personal
dark
view
Muslim
on
must
that.
stand to speak.
No, that's fine.
So that's for like a DSLR.
The descriptor, the
but then
descriptor.
like in the film industry, your
Our
your two
preferred
big players
cameras
would be a Red or
and
an
an
Ari.
Arri.
That's the like two brands. But underneath that, then you get Arri Alexa, Arri Mini, or Red Dragon, Red Weapon.
Red
But that's
Scarlet.
very like high
That's
end.
mad red weapon, bro.
Yeah, it's super
And
cool.
Red Scarlet.
So
Ooh.
those are the two you would use to. That's like what kind of most movies are.
Why
shot
would
on.
you use a red instead of an RE? Or is it just similar categories?
I would do you want to
No, you
answer?
can go.
Okay. So for like I'm not a creative like in that sense. So I don't touch any equipment, but like I can tell because I work closely with the director. So most of the time when he chooses an RE, it's for like when we're shooting nice close-up stuff and he wants like nice, beautiful, soft textures and beautiful skin types and color tones. Then you shoot on a RE, and like for like the more action-packed, more like moving around on the
Hey, oh,
gimbal,
God.
then you'd use the red.
Nice.
No, Nika, that's exactly what it is.
That is,
Okay, now,
but
hold on.
obviously it still
Hold on.
went down to
Hold
a
on.
personal
Hold on.
It's also still
preference.
down to personal preference.
Always.
The DOP gets to he gets to choose what camera
Yes.
he shoots his stuff on.
Okay. So if we're going action movie, we'll go with the keyboard, the red one.
Yes.
So, but since design is all about soft tones, I think we should put RE there on top.
And
What,
Ari Alexa
what is
or Ari
what is
Mini.
DOP?
Director of photography.
Thank
So
you.
he's the main camera guy who sits behind the big ass camera and just gives all the orders to all his assistants.
So
Yes.
when he first picked up that question, he thought the question was trash. Like he was like, JP, what are you asking?
That's a great
Do you see
question.
this now? What are you coming up with?
I'm glad you had a variety of questions.
The bus.
Ask us
The
more.
bus. Do you want more passengers?
He's very fond of throwing me under a bus that doesn't exist.
Oh, this one I don't know. Music genres.
Oh, okay.
Mm?
So that's a bit of a miscellaneous
A
topic.
miscellaneous one.
So which music
And-
genres are our favorites and or the best?
Yo.
What's
Must we choose favorites?
no? That's why I say the genre
Just-
instead of putting like a specific
But
artist.
I have listened to so many genres.
We both
This
listen to,
afternoon
like,
just think
everything.
like, why are you listening to jazz? I'm like,
Justine,
leave
Your
me
first
alone.
companies. I'm about that life.
Yeah, no.
Kamasi, Washington.
Notoriously, when we shoot on Sundays, yeah, rock up with a certain radio station. And it's just
Hot 104.9. Clarence Drive.
Yeah, and,
It's my favorite.
We all felt
My
that.
father listened to Hot 104.9 FM on a Sunday. Now I do it too.
As you should.
I must.
As you should. As you should.
Sure. I
So
don't know.
jazz is one of them.
No, there's
No.
no way.
Automatically.
It's not the favorite, no.
It's
Last.
Rimby, rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues.
Okay.
Um,
You see, it's so difficult. Because you could just say alternative. And just chuck everything in there.
Okay, I was gonna say alternative what? Like pop?
Rock or pop.
Rock.
Alternative rock.
So then rock.
I would say, a favorite of mine is pop punk. So like Blink-182, Sum 41, like throwing it to those guys.
Do you know what's wild is that like pop music now just becomes old school.
Yeah, it ages well.
Just like because pop must means popular.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
It
when you,
is
like,
embarrassing.
when you just
shame.
realize when like
They should change the name of the genre.
Popular.
because you like at the time it's a pop band, but then later on in life, no, that's a rock band. No, that's a different genre. It's a genre.
It's a genre.
So rock and roll, Rimby, and then are we choosing pop? I feel like old school is valid.
Old school what?
Old school what?
Yeah.
Old school, never mind.
The pop.
You gotta be so many
The pop.
like
genre.
Nirvana
Touche.
something
No,
like
you're right,
that.
you're right. So
Nirvana.
I think rock, rhythm and blues, and is anybody hip hop fans here? Because I feel
Yeah,
like
hip-hop is
okay,
good.
hip hop. Okay, so those three. What are we keeping? What are we taking
So
away?
personally,
I'm all for rhythm and
rhythm
blues.
and
I'm all
blues.
for rock. I'm all for hip hop.
so R&B
And
would
I
be
have to
my
choose.
top.
I'm also all for R&B.
R&B would be my Hofas. No, sorry, my Naai Las.
I would keep rock. I like rock.
Hip hop is my Naai class.
Okay.
That's wild. We have a class rock, a class for hip hop, and a class for R&B, and am I the tiebreaker?
Da da da.
Pressure.
Yes!
That's so much pressure.
Absorbs it. You don't need to decide. Let them
Okay,
decide.
no.
Next
What-
question.
Ooh.
them decide.
I was gonna
5, 4,
say.
3, 2, 1.
I was-
Choose.
I was gonna say because of the evidence on my Spotify,
Yeah.
it's R&B.
The evidence in my Spotify.
Yeah.
On
is
the
a good-
evidence, but imagine I didn't say that. What do you think? One more to take us home. One more to take us home because I
I'm on
don't.
your OCD.
every question is like, no.
Maybe I don't even. Because the thing is now, there's context here that I don't understand. Visual aids.
Visual aid.
What?
Exactly.
So
A bar,
I didn't know
pie
you-
chart. A line chart.
I died.
It was so good. So I didn't know Specsavers would be in the mix, but I was so
That's so vile.
I was
That's how vague visual aid is.
So now you understand my
Abacus,
outburst.
yes.
My,
I was referring to like because we had audio with the contact lenses, man. So we have glasses, we have contact lenses. What are other visual aids that people use?
Sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
I'm currently wearing contacts, so by default, I have to keep them.
Goggles?
That's a good one. Karly loves her goggles.
That is-
for the
it is a
swimming.
visual
I love
aid.
my goggles.
She loves her goggles.
Because I swim.
Oh, so you don't wear goggles like outside?
No.
Okay.
Wait.
Other visual aid.
Utility.
Don't you get that
Magnifying
PPE
glass. That's a good one.
For construction workers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like, you're into this now. Like, I appreciate
Yeah, I'm so
it.
sad. It's done.
I appreciate it. Wow.
I started with goggles, even though it didn't apply, but I'm enthusiastic.
Okay, so that like construction wear for safety.
Yes,
Let's call
PPE
it
glasses.
safety. Yeah, okay,
Hey.
cool. Wow, and I'm just out there still thinking about that. That's a mad question, JD. Because I'm thinking
Sorry.
type of visual aids, eyes. Paul felt that one. Paul felt that one. Yo. Okay.
I
Well,
think you've missed the bus result.
I did. I didn't resonate with this topic, but I'm here with it now because we have actual reading glasses, I
Yes.
guess. Seeing glasses. Those are different. Those are different. Those are because I feel
different.
like you're wearing yours as eyes. Because like you lol. That's just rude.
I don't
Step
understand.
away.
You don't.
Get
You have
yourself.
to wear them
Please.
almost all the time.
Yeah.
To like
It's not
see
just
stuff. Yeah,
reading,
so
yeah.
those are your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like okay. So that's what I mean. Those are you fall into the category of people who are referred to as 4 eyes. It's not rude. It's descriptive. Anyway. Contact lenses.
No way.
Goggles.
Don't sweep
I'm
past
sorry.
that.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
please.
I'm sorry.
So we have goggles, we
I
have
was a bully
construction.
nice boy.
Rizan, you mustn't encourage bullying.
I know.
Yes.
I apologize. I'm
Exactly.
sorry. I'm sorry. to
So
the people
would you
We have
take
evolved from
would you take
settlers.
reading glasses? Would you take reading glasses or contacts?
Isn't contacts like there to supersede reading glasses?
Yeah.
So contacts is.
So you'll take contacts.
I wouldn't say
Weak contacts.
supersede. It's not like
No.
stronger than your prescription.
Okay.
But you
So
just
we're going with normal
you
glasses.
don't have to put them on your face. Like if I'm super busy on set or something like that, then I would prefer contacts because I don't have to worry about like cleaning my glasses and things like that. So it's more functional.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can see perfectly. Stop looking at me.
No, but like, just by pure definition, I'll probably last goggles because I can't use them on land.
Because I can't use them on land.
I can only use goggles in the pool, so goggles needs to bounce. And then, I mean, construction goggles is also.
I would think the construction
It's not
goggles
goggles, it's glasses.
are visors for utility.
Yeah.
So I think they can
It
be.
goes
last.
over your eyes like
Yes.
spectacles.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like that can.
And
stand.
doctors use it as well.
Yeah.
If you go to
And
dentists
if you go
use
to
it
a
as
shooting
well.
range, you also get.
Yes.
Oh, they're making a
So
strong case.
Yeah.
Very
They are making-
multi-purpose.
They are
yeah.
making a strong case.
So
So that's we're gonna hold fast.
we're gonna
We're
hold fast.
we're
We're
gonna-
gonna hold fast.
Hold
We're gonna
fast.
hold fast.
And then finally, I guess reading glasses.
Is elite. Yes.
Is elite.
It's elite,
elite, yeah,
because you need them
stays.
to see.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So this has been great, ladies.
Away.
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
having
much
us.
for coming. But before you leave,
Away.
please tell the audience everything that you're up to.
Wait.
Plug anything you want to. Let them know 25th of November, when they must, where they can get it, those type of things. And that's
Shout
all
out to
for
my
you.
granny. Jokes.
That's actually valid. Why don't we allow for shout outs?
I feel like I should just talk about our
Yeah, where can we
talking.
find you?
Cool, where
What
can
are
you
the
find
channels and stuff? Yeah.
Us personally. Okay, but you can find I Am Not an Object. I Am Not an Object at I Am Not an Object SA. And there's an underscore in between all the words. That's our handle for Instagram. You can follow us over there. There you'll see updates of when we shoot our episodes, how far we are in the editing process, what the grade looks like, some teaser bits again on the page. And yeah, we will be releasing our first episode on the 25th of November this year as 16 Days of
Where?
Activism starts on YouTube.
Yes.
But we'll share the links on our social platform
Yes.
pages as well.
Quite.
And we'll follow.
We
and
also
share.
add
Thank
the,
you.
Thank
Follow
you.
and share where we can.
before we go,
Yeah.
they need to give themselves a message to the younger selves, JP.
Oh, wow.
Wow, what a profound.
So we always have the C block where we give the guests an opportunity to, because you have certain life experiences now, things that you know now that you didn't know back then. So what would your message be to your younger self, the younger Karly and the younger Justine?
Who wants to make it in the film industry or just life in general?
Life in general, film industry, you pick your poison, go for it.
Yo, that's such a great
I
idea.
would tell myself, or my advice to myself would be to love myself unconditionally, not rely or be codependent on anyone to make me feel worthy, or affect my self-esteem and my self-love, to believe in myself and to continue to be ambitious despite the circumstances. I would also tell myself to follow my instincts and my intuition. It's something, when that comes, you always doubt it, but you shouldn't. Yeah, that's it.
So deep in there.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it.
Think
I
of
love it.
everything
I
on the
love
spot.
it.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, what would I say to myself? I
1,
would
2, 3,
say I know what you're going through is difficult, but you're gonna come out being so much stronger. And even though it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, there really is. And you should be proud of yourself for how far you have come. I know that God is going to take you so much further. And I would say no matter what, pursue your dream and pursue what you're passionate about, and don't let anybody tell you to have a plan B like they did for me my whole life because they said film is not going to work out. Don't have a plan B. Put everything that you have into what you love, and that's going to lead you to the right places.
Amazing.
I love it. Everyone's message to themselves is so unique.
Except yours.
Thank you so much, Karly and Justine. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more and spend some time with us, all this tomfoolery and shenaniganery, and also engage with us, please do send us information and stuff in our mailbag. Please do like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of us.
And we out. Peace.